it's a bit of a sad story, really, with formation, because it's such an amazing event. It's so important. It's like really helped to grow the women's freeride scene.
Yeah.
And there's just a bit of a mash-up with the people organising Red Bull Rampage and promises being made, being broken, which unfortunately resulted in no women's category at Rampage and no formation this year, which was pretty shitty. But I think there's been a lot kick off about it.
Okay.
So I would
there's definitely a movement, right?
Yeah.
Of like
So I would very much hope that will spur them to get their shit together.
In fact, we're recording now. Welcome to the show, Vero. Hey!
Thank you.
That was good,
You
wasn't
haven't
it?
really told me how to use this.
I did off air. Don't do it. Yeah, so if it stays like that far away, it's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's nice like that.
But it's really ASMR-y. They're really nice microphones, aren't they?
Super good. So no breathing.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll try and breathe through my nose as much as possible.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah, appreciate you making me
First
this.
female live guest,
Yeah, there we
Really?
go.
which probably isn't something to be proud
Why
of.
did you? What took you so? That's embarrassing.
not,
honestly,
not proud of that fact at all. But
None want to hang out.
yeah, not
You
wanna
know?
hang out.
Yeah,
it's a
I like that you act like you're surprised.
Really?
talking about poo and before we start. This is
Well, I hope to see a lot more because
Yeah, well,
we've got some good shit to say. I think.
yeah, it's not feel like a trying.
yeah, actually,
Okay.
that is true.
That's
That
good.
is
Feel like
true.
a trying.
Who's been turning you down?
Hey, we
Call them out.
No, we can't.
Okay. Anyway,
there's a few. We got a few lined up as well.
sick.
Yeah. We'll try
Why
that.
is it? Why is it? It's a good question.
What? Why did no one want to hang out with us? That's female?
Yeah, but like, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like, there's probably a bunch of like different reasons slash.
Hey, outline them, please.
Maybe like are they busy? Maybe they're busy.
They're busy. Okay, yeah, brilliant.
Busy's
Nice
a good
one.
You know.
yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, busy's a great one.
You're
Yeah.
injured at the minute, right?
Yeah.
Is it bad? What is it?
I don't know if it's bad. I
Shoulder,
basically,
right?
Yeah, this shoulder here, I dislocated it almost a month ago now. And I've never dislocated before, so I didn't really know what it was supposed to feel like, but I thought it popped back in, but it turns out it didn't pop back into the right place. So for a couple of weeks, it was like very painful, and it felt like something was twisted up in there, and I was like, because all the boys who dislocate their shoulders at this event I was at were like, chilling, you'll be back in like a week and a half. So I was like, okay, sick. But I just kept getting worse, and I was like, it's not adding up.
Yeah, I was expecting you to be in a sling or something.
I
But
was.
So it's back in, and now you're just physio
Now it's
or
back
what?
in. Yeah, now it's back in. I've been waiting to have it. I'm seeing a shoulder specialist surgeon guy end of the week, and he's going to scan it and see what's going on, because I think there's like some nerve damage and stuff, which is quite... Because in the day, like, I can move it around a bit now. It's like getting a lot better, but at night it hurts so much.
Yeah.
Really?
I actually... my boyfriend Sam bought me a pregnancy pillow because I had to have my arm
sleeping
up at
hurts.
night.
Huh? Yeah.
So that really helps because it's up on both sides, and I can just like rest my arm up no matter what my arm does.
That's so good. A pregnancy pillow
the
for your
pillows are
shoulder
amazing.
injury. Riding jumps.
The pillows are amazing. Like, I can recommend even for
Yeah.
even now if my shoulder's fine, I'd probably still just wreck the pillow.
What's it shaped like? Is it one where you like put your arm through it?
No, it's like a big U. Like, imagine if you had like
Travel
like
pillow.
yeah,
on
travel
crack.
pillow, a neck pillow, but it's like on steroids. Like, it comes all the way down. It's really soft and like big.
Nice.
So yeah,
And dishwashable, no doubt.
yeah.
I sleep like Batman because of shoulder injuries.
Dude,
I
okay.
do still.
Yeah, give me some tips.
It's only well, no, I don't really have any. I sleep more normal now, but for years I slept just bolt, like literally like Batman. Well, no, he sleeps upside down, doesn't he?
But like upright Batman.
Yeah, upright Batman.
Yeah,
style,
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe that's a good. I really suck at sleeping on my back.
Yeah.
But I might have to
Do
adapt to that.
I did my shoulder blade, and when I broke a bunch of ribs in my back. So I was doing the same thing. I'd just wake up in the night, just laid on it, but you can't control it because you just do it naturally, right? You've done X amount of years sleeping on your side.
Yeah.
And I'd wake up in agony. Just, this
Yeah,
has got to stop.
That's what's been
And
happening to me.
I just built just a wall of pillow
Nice.
just to stop going over.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
it. But yeah, throw myself
There's
over it
something
and
horrible
stuff.
about a lack of control with sleep, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
someone says you've said something in your
Oh my
sleep or
gosh.
something like that,
Yeah.
it's so like, oh, I don't know what I said.
I
I have
know.
no control
Yeah.
over it. It's the worst.
You're a sleep talker.
No, I'm not, but I obviously being stressed, I
Here
have
and
done in
there.
the past. Yeah.
Okay.
Brendan does a lot.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, a lot. Like just some people do, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a guy who he just like slags people off in his sleep.
No way.
And he'll slag off his missus sleeping next to him.
Oh, that's awful.
I know. Luckily she's super chill. She just laughs about it, but like
Yeah,
I'd
but
be
there's
so
just, like,
embarrassed.
Yeah,
Lost.
I'd be playing on my brain. I think I'd be like, he said that, even though I know he was
It's like
asleep.
sleep
Does he
Tourette's,
really
it's
think
awful.
it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, well, actually, he's like my best, Sam's best mate,
Yeah.
and he'll like apparently one night he like ripped a fart in his sleep, and he went like, I'm gonna blame that on Sam, like in his sleep. So it was
So
just
he
like,
farts, talks smack on his girlfriend.
yeah, talks-
Blame stuff
yeah,
on his
yeah,
mate.
yeah. But like he's like a sleep joker. It's so funny. I'm yet to experience it, but what I've heard, it's so funny.
That's
sounds
Yeah, I
hilarious.
know,
insane.
but
Yeah.
Pretty like mad thinking that you could just bust some things out in your sleep and you're just
Yeah,
unaware of it.
innit?
It is
So,
horrible.
What's the plan for the injury now? Like, keep rehabbing. It's a good time to be injured as well, really,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And it's
I
never a good
guess.
time, but it's
Yeah,
awful
you
out
say
there.
that. Well, I've had like a pretty bad run lately, like since kind of June time. I've been just injured back to back,
Ugh.
and I've been trying to like fit in riding and events in between, but it's
Yeah.
proved pretty difficult. So yeah, now I'd like to just figure out what's actually wrong with it, and then do the stuff to
Yeah.
heal it properly, and then.
Why do you
get
think you've
back
been
on it.
getting injured more? Has there been a point of like pushing things a bit extra hard, or like bigger events, or what?
I mean, like the first crash I had in June, which was at the first backyard battle, which was such a good event. But on the last day, I was just like knackered, and all the boys decided to hit this like massive step down into the big jump right at the end of the sesh. Normally, I'm super calculated, and I'll like do all my math and like think, oh, this is the speed I need. Okay, like judging off what the boys are doing. But I kind of went just for like the send up mentality, which I never really do. So, and it
Right.
just bit back. Like I just didn't think about what I was doing, and I just like overshot a jump and had a big crash.
So this was
So-
the first one.
Yeah.
And which backyard battle was that? That was
The first one that was like the Russo Bros and Sea Dogs one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But it was like the best. It was so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, just unfortunately, it was literally the last day, the last sesh, like last fucking half hour of the sesh. But yeah. So since then, I've been just getting injured basically, which is quite ironic because I've never really been injured before.
Really?
So it's like the universe is like, right, well, you can just make up for everything you've got away with and have it all now.
Oh no, I hope not.
No.
I hope not too.
Touch wood.
But,
I'm
yeah.
touching wood for you.
But
Do you-
like, nah, it's all good.
Did you feel like you rushed back after it, or was it? Like,
No, I did, that one I actually like. I had a pretty bad concussion, which took a while. Well, it felt like it took a while. It didn't actually take too long, but I felt like back on it by the 9s. And then I just cased a jump at the 9s and broke my foot, which was quite annoying. I didn't know it was broken. Sam broke his back that day, so it was like a pretty big ordeal, and I was dealing with. It was in Germany, like in a really rural area, so there wasn't much like English being spoken in the hospital and stuff. And
Right.
German's actually my first language, so I was doing a lot of going to the hospital, translating, trying to sort that out, and just kind of hobbling around. I've never broken a bone before, so I didn't really know what it was supposed to feel like. And I was like, maybe my foot's all good.
I didn't know German was your first language.
Yeah.
How did I not
No,
know
I
that?
didn't know that.
I don't know, like I don't really bust it out very often.
But how is it your first language? Where did you grow
Well,
up?
it's kind of weird. I grew up in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But my mum's German, and we had like a community of sort of German friends who all had
way.
kids around my age. So I guess they all wanted the kids to have German as like a language, which I'm super grateful for now because
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
so
handy
cool,
in
yeah.
Europe. Like there's like 3 countries which speak German or a variation of German. So yeah, so all the kids were brought up speaking German before they went to school, so that it was just kind of like locked in for them.
Oh, that's
So,
so. I really.
That is a live cheat code.
Yeah, that is really
so
cool.
stoked
yeah.
on
Innit?
it. Yeah, like yeah, I'm very grateful.
Seeger's
That's
the
fucking sick.
same, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
And you never know, and you hang out with him, and he'll just, even in Germany, he'll just be quiet and he'll just listen. And I just think, what a cool
Yeah.
skill to have. You can
His
still,
German's insane.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like fluent, right?
Yeah, yeah. And like along with that comes like the German passport, which is
Yeah.
again a huge fucking plus because
Yeah. Now you've got Europe unlocked.
yeah, none of that visa stuff that everyone else has to deal with.
Yeah.
So yeah, super blessed.
Did you
So
stop
that's sick.
riding in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so how long were you in New Zealand for?
Well, I grew up there and I like lived there till I was like 18. And
Right, okay.
and then from 18 I was coming over here and like racing the World Cups and then going
Yeah.
back to New Zealand, so I was going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then I just stayed in the UK 1 year because I just ran out of money, so I couldn't fly home. And I just was stuck here, and then I've been here ever since.
There you
Super
go.
inspirational story.
No way. Are your parents still in New Zealand and stuff?
My mum's in Germany, my dad's in New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah, so my family's like just all over the place,
Yeah.
which is cool.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
really cool. I can kind of remember that. You did the podcast ages ago. It's probably worth mentioning if anyone wants to go like take a real deep dive into
No,
Vero's
don't.
backstory and stuff. It was a long
Don't
it was
do
a
it.
while ago, man. It's going to be like
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did it a while ago. But yeah, it might be good if anyone wants proper
Sick.
backstory.
Yeah,
Go there.
sick.
Yeah,
So that's it.
Yeah.
So you started racing when you were in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was like sort of 14, we went to watch like a New Zealand national round just as like an family activity with like a family of mates basically. And we were like, whoa, this is insane. Like I was like, I want to do that. We watched like Brooke and Blanky and stuff were racing, and it was like so sick. So that like hyped me up to get into riding, and then that was like what was happening really, like downhill racing.
So that's all
got
it
into
took
that.
was just going and watching.
Yeah, like I was so inspired from watching that. It was insane. And then we watched like Worlds and it was 06 or something in Rotorua.
Yeah.
When I was like pretty young, that was actually the first thing I did. We watched Worlds because we were in Rotorua, and it was like, oh, there's an event on, we'll go watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that was insane. Then after that, we went and watched a national round, and then we were like locked in.
Really?
Like, this is sick.
And it's not a family thing before?
Nah,
no
nothing.
one?
Nah, my brother Leo,
Yeah.
kind of got into it first, and I just sort of followed him into it, and yeah, that was it.
It's changed massively since then, eh?
Yeah.
Biking in general.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
specifically, I'd say what you're in now. I mean, is it cool to imagine yourself seeing you then? That's a really confusing question. You understand what I mean? You saw Brooke and Blenky, but now young girls can
Yeah.
see you. Like,
Yeah.
that's a cool thought.
Yeah,
right? That's a big
definitely.
change.
I always have to, I sort of, sometimes I just forget about like what I was like back then watching and like really looking up to people like that and
Yeah.
getting really inspired. So sometimes I like put myself back in those shoes.
Nice.
And it's so sick that now we have like with what I do in freeride and what a lot of the other amazing girls do. It's sick to have like a platform where people can, younger girls or just anyone can watch it, and like it will just grow
I guess even
the
back then
sport
though, you didn't have
massively.
that access to these people like Blanky and Brooke or whoever.
Yeah.
You didn't have an access to them through social media. or
No,
anything.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. Yeah.
You could either
So-
watch watch them go to a race and watch them,
Yeah.
or you could see them in like a select few like bike movies that would come out once
Videos
a
or
year.
magazines.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Which made it like, I guess, even more hype because there wasn't like any saturated content or anything like that. It was like there was a New Zealand mountain bike film called it was Pusher 2, like the second Pusher film, and that was like we watched these races and then we watched Pusher 2 and we were like downhill racing. It was so sick, and those boys all had segments in it and stuff, and like so sick.
Wow.
So it's really cool that we can do what we do and get supported for it, and it's like what's the thing people say, seeing is believing, that sort of thing, you know. Like you
Yeah.
can see people do it, and then especially for younger girls now, they can see so many girls doing this stuff, and from a young age they can believe that they can do it. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's what's
How quick
growing the
was that?
sport.
That move from you seeing it to racing a World Cup.
Oh, I mean, I saw it when I was like 13, 14, and
Yeah.
then I guess my first World Cup I was like 18 racing in junior. So actually, like, not, it doesn't,
That's
it seemed like a
fast.
long time
Yeah.
when I was that young,
So
but
quick.
it wasn't actually that long.
Yeah, it seems massive, doesn't it? Summer holidays feel like they're
Yeah.
like 3 years long.
Yeah,
That
true.
age.
Yeah.
But like,
True.
I say racing a World Cup, I was like trying to get down a World Cup track,
Yeah.
struggling so hard, like trying to get down Val de Sol.
That's cool though. So
yeah.
so how quick were you racing? So you were literally just downhill racing. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what there was, really.
Yeah.
Like, that was like what we saw and what we were like gassed to do. So,
Yeah.
but like, obviously I started riding a bit first, and then I started doing a few like local races at my local bike park, and then started doing some, we had like, in New Zealand, they had like secondary schools races where like
Okay.
loads of secondary schools would come together and race against each other and stuff. So
That's so cool.
into that, then nationals and stuff like that, and then like came overseas to race, and yeah.
What was it like getting the funding together to come and do it? Was that hard?
Yeah, like I mean, such a struggle. But we like, you know, what it's like. A lot of the Kiwis come over and they'll like get a van together and like they'll just make it work. It's so hard to afford, but you find a way to make it work.
New Zealand's one of the worst places to be based, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like it's so
Especially
tough.
now.
It's so tough.
Yeah.
That's like one of the big perks of like being stuck over here originally. At least I was close to Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in New Zealand, if you want to come over here, it's insanely expensive to get over, and it's a big job. Like, it's like a 30, 40 hour flight plus a couple grand, which is like, yeah, it's tricky for sure, especially if you've got no like support from companies and that.
Who was your first sponsor then?
Well, define sponsor, like
Yeah, good point.
I'd like to have said, I was sponsored when I was racing, but nah, like I
Yeah,
got
sponsorship now
like
is
a
a
free
different
neck
deal.
brace and stuff.
Yeah.
But my
And you
first,
plugged it hard.
oh yeah, like big time athlete. But like my first, like I guess paid sponsor was probably, it would have been Marin Bikes. Like when I stopped racing and started just doing free ride and doing
Really? So all through racing and stuff, you're pretty much funding it.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
And I wasn't never really a great racer, you know. It wasn't like I should have had a big wage to race or anything. I wasn't getting some mad results. I just loved riding with people on practice days. I always felt like I was a good rider, but I could never put it together in a race run. I just got so nervous and just fucked it up so hard every time. Either went way too slow or just ate shit. So
You
not
did
really
years
worth
traveling
sponsoring.
around doing it though, right?
yeah. It was just like such a good scene of like, I guess, van life people traveling around and like camping up and like hanging out and then riding. The actual race I always hated, but like everything else, the practice days, the riding, the social aspect of it, I loved it.
Yeah, I've always thought that from the outside, it looks amazing. Like being like a junior and just traveling around. I never did it at that age. Like,
No.
it seems mad, especially from New Zealand to here, just being on the road. That's like a lot to learn and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, like
You're a long way away.
Yeah. But it's when you're like 17, 18, 19, it's like you feel it's insane. You're like, oh my God, I'm in the like on the other side of the world. My parents aren't here. I'm with like you're
Hell
with
of
other
an
people your
experience.
age. None of you have any idea what you're doing. You're all just like mashing about, figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
And it's such a sick like learning experience for just general life, I think.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. You're
So
chucked in at the
sick.
deep end, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
There's a lot of like trial and errors and things going on. It's sick. So yeah, that was good times for sure.
Yeah.
At what point did you go then? Because actually, if you think of someone changing from being a World Cup racer to a free rider, I mean, probably for us, all of us, probably it doesn't seem like a big difference. It's all part of the same thing. But now, if you think about it, it's actually like a career move.
Yeah.
Like when did you first start going that way? Free ride, whatever it even means.
Yeah, I know. Like you said, like career move. It was like, well, racing was never a career for me. It was just something I was like, I love to do, and I was just like, I'm gonna keep doing this because it's super fun. But I was like working a lot to try and fund it, basically. And then after a while, it became I was riding with becoming like more and more serious about racing, and that social aspect was like changing a lot. And obviously with the UCI rules, that made things change a lot as well. You know, when they like cut the list of qualifiers down and stuff.
Yeah.
So it became like not as fun as it used to. So I just, and yeah, like I said, I was like putting all my money into it and not really having the best time anymore. So I sort of just stopped doing it. And I just started riding with my mates at home when I lived in South Wales and in Bristol. Like when I first moved to the UK, I was just riding seshing, which I'd never really done before. I'd always ridden before I was always riding to like try and get good race results.
Yeah.
So I kind of started riding and exploring different kinds of riding, which I'd never really delved into before.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is insane. Like I wasn't trying to be a free rider or anything. I was just like sort of finding new fun ways to ride.
Jumping more.
Yeah, jumping more, trying little trying to like take my limbs off and stuff. I was like, this is sick. And then it was so fun, like progressing that, you know, like take your hand off like this, and then you're like, ooh, and then you're there like that's like I was buzzing so hard, like progressing doing that stuff. So I just kept doing it, and I like was posting clips of it on the gram, and then it just kind of segued into more of a free ride thing, and companies started getting stoked about it.
Was there anyone doing it at that point that you could think like?
I mean, like free for women.
Yeah.
Free, like Casey Brown was doing some mad free ride stuff already. She was like in like some big films with some of the boys shredding, which was like so inspirational to me. Hitting some big stuff, but I don't know, like if anyone was really doing much trickery.
No. There was like Joey, but she wasn't like, doing stuff like publicly, was she? She didn't. Have, I guess it's also the rise of social media as well. In a way, isn't it? It's like,
I mean, Joey's she's an amazing rider and such a cool person, and she's like the OG really. Like she's always been riding jumps way before anyone else. So yeah, I've always looked up to her massively. But yeah, just the people I was riding with, I was just kind of copying what they were doing. Like learning from them and trying to keep up with some of the stuff they were doing and like really enjoying it. So it just kind of turned into free ridey sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah. Was there like a conscious decision though to go like, right, I'm not going to a race anymore? Because there's a little bit like one Sunday where you're probably like, all right, I should be at whatever, Val de Sol. But instead I just want to hang out.
Yeah. There wasn't a conscious decision to be a free rider, but there was a conscious decision to like not be at a race anymore. I was like, oh, I'm done with it. Like it's sort of just fizzled out for me. So I was like, I'm just going to ride for fun.
It's funny what you said about like them changing the rules and how that affected, you could be, I mean, it literally doesn't matter, but you think about the small changes you make in like rulings or in like boring things that end up affecting people, So like you change the number of people that qualify, for instance, and then there's like just a lack of motivation, and like you're already working your hardest just to get there. And then someone takes away even the chance that you might make the semis or whatever. It sucks, doesn't it? It's like that butterfly effect of like these small...
There's probably no better time to talk about all that stuff than right now with all the changes it's gone through, especially with EDR and like everyone pulling out of that now. And it's like...
all the race scenes, there seems to be a lot of changes going on like really quickly. Like every year there's like some new big ones, right? Like,
So obviously last year was massive.
And the riders getting like, I don't know if they're getting messed about a lot or like things are changing for them like really quickly and they're having to adapt like
for sure.
It's crazy.
For sure. Like
it's already such a high intensity like thing and they're like having to switch things up again like so quick. It's gnarly.
Yeah. Go back to being like a young Vero out there trying to make it into finals, and now you'd be really hard pushed probably.
Yeah. That's kind of like when
like the chance is just taken away from you, like you said, by these rule changes and these like ugh.
Yeah.
It's horrible, really, isn't it?
Was that the biggest change in your like riding? Like what you think of as riding? Because I always think that with races, like often you go through, it's almost like they're just trying to get quicker, and then there's a point where it switches to being fun, or people just don't do it. A lot of racers stop and they're just like they don't want to do it anymore. Motivation is gone.
Yeah.
Has like motivation changed now? Would you say?
Oh yeah, like 100%. Like my motivation's like completely different. Like now it's like I don't know, I've like found the area that I love so much, and like it's my motivations now are just like it's fully like, oh, I want to progress this, I want to progress my riding in this way, and it's like I'm fully motivated to do something new and creative all the time. It's like there's no like boundaries for where you want to push yourself. It's not like my time needs to be faster, which is I love racing. I respect it so much and I love going to watch it, but I think like certain individuals flourish in like different environments.
Yeah, especially with creativity. Like as a racer, there's not really much room for creativity. It's quite a linear thing, isn't it? It's totally, like you go from there to there as fast as possible. Yeah. And apart from maybe...
But there's so much like Tani, for example, she's a really creative person. She's like an amazing racer, but she finds creativity in like the kits that she wears.
Yeah,
and, like, there's so much other ways
you can find it in there, or maybe like in practice you're the one who throws the biggest whip or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be.
Yeah. But yeah, like the freeride scene is for me 100%. I love it. It's so sick.
So you got into building, right?
Yeah.
Like quite a lot.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to see, I think. It's wicked. And
sick.
So when did you start sort of like building your own stuff and thinking about it?
I mean, like when I was a kid, like getting into riding, my brother and I also were just mashing about in the woods and just like building the jankiest shit. You know what it's like. But then when I moved to the UK, I lived in Bristol for a bit, and then when I moved to South Wales, that's when I was really like started just getting into digging because I wasn't racing anymore. So I like that creativity sort of started to flow, and I started to just build things and just sort of mash about and try and learn. And like I guess the more you build, the more you like just pick up skills and stuff like that. So and in South Wales, it was just like a pretty good canvas to go out in the woods, and no one really cares most of the time. So you have like so many spots where you can just go and we just build like 4 turns in a row, and just try and hit them as hard as we could over and over, that sort of thing. So that's where it all started, really. Like actually, when I was growing up watching like all kinds of mountain bike films, the UK always had those like cool sort of rut tracks. Yeah. And when I came over here, I was like, that's all I want to do. I just want to ride rut tracks. So we started just building those like turns everywhere. And it all went from there, really. But to this day, like that's still my favorite thing to do, I think. If you're like, what's your favorite day in the world? I'd be like, go out with like a couple tools, scratch some rut tracks in and just mash them. Yeah.
So you went from like, basically I was thinking you have your own trail at Revolution. How did you get to Vision? Must have been, what a cool project that must have been. Yeah. Vision Trail is like, have you ridden?
I've not ridden
Veros Trail.
No.
And
obviously
I can't claim that it's my trail, but it's like
it kind of is. It
was like a collab for Vision movie. Yeah. And like, yeah. And
but you had a lot of input into what went on there, and
that's Vision Line is just, I think it kind of changed the game for the UK sort of, I don't know, like for bringing up the freeride scene, because it's such a progressive trail that you can, I mean, there's so many spots where you can start and like hit sections of it, which is really cool. Like a lot of riders who maybe aren't comfortable in hitting, like say the first section, which is quite gnarly, can drop in and hit like the middle bit, and then work their way up to it. So since that trail, now obviously the park's shut, but since that trail sort of was born, the scene that like developed at Revs and the people that were there just to ride Vision Line and to like progress on that was insane. Every time I went there was like huge sessions going down.
So good.
People like eating shit left, right, and center, trying to like get features ticked off and stuff. So, and people come from all over the world to ride it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, since Vision Line, like most bike parks in the UK now have really sick jump lines.
Yeah,
so I think it's like
it?
Motivated a lot of other parks to do the same, and it's fucking sick. And it's definitely like helping to grow the freeride scene in the UK, which is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of need it now, don't you? You sort of need a line of that quality at a bike park now, I feel like, if you're going to be...
Yeah, I think especially with so many more people leaning more into that style of riding, like you say, it seems to have properly flourished since then, I'd say.
Yeah. It's sick.
Hey, we've got to do a quick ad break.
Are we going to do an ad break?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do an ad break. Should we do an ad break? Let's do an ad break.
All right, what ad break are we going to do?
Well, we got Vero here.
Yes.
Adidas. What do you say? Adidas? Adidas.
Because actually, like, let me just clarify. People say Adidas, but Adidasler is the name of the guy. So Adidas.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's coming from a German speaker
Adidas
as well.
Yeah, I've been to the headquarters and they gave me the little rundown on like how to say his name.
Adidas.
And stuff. Adidas.
Yeah. All right, we got it in the bag.
Adidas 510. Yeah.
Adidas 510. So today we're going to talk about the Adidas 510 Gore-Tex or GTX trail cross shoe, which you've been using because we've seen you using them.
Yeah.
We've been using them for a little bit. These are my actual shoes.
Yeah.
They smell.
They do a bit, don't they?
Yeah, but
that's because you use them a lot.
I'm using them a lot.
That's a good advert.
Yeah, I'm using them a lot. I'm using them a lot.
Genuine
Should we pass them on?
We could do.
Yeah, let's
do. You
do
want to have a
that,
look
yeah.
and we'll pass them down? There you go. You didn't think
Wow.
you'd be holding a pair of...
I've never seen such big ones of these. Mine are a lot smaller.
Hey.
But yeah, I love these shoes. I actually did a shoot on them a couple weeks ago on my e-bike, and
so you've got everything fresh on the top of your dome, just
ready
like
to go.
They're waterproof, right?
yes,
Yeah, they're waterproof.
They're breathable.
Yep.
yes,
They're Gore-Tex.
Yep.
yes,
They got the nice little hook thing at the top, sort of like neoprene thing.
yes. Stealth rubber, which is my favourite type of rubber.
Yep. Stealth rubber
I rub
never
all my
fails.
Stealth.
Yeah. They're perfect for winter months.
They are perfect for winter months. I'm using mine a hell of a lot, man. I've got them on whether I'm biking, walking the dog, hiking. I'm wearing them all day, every day.
Very
Those things.
Versatile.
Very versatile.
Yeah.
Great word. Love
Versatile,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Big
You've
fan
You've
of
got.
that.
I really like the colourway that yours are in. Mine.
Thank you.
I've just got the black ones, whereas you've gone for like the sort of
Those?
like. Yeah, these are mine up here.
Yeah, I went for the
Yeah.
grey and the tan, I guess you call it.
Yeah, it's really nice.
There's
really
a couple of
nice.
different ones. And if anyone wants to grab a pair,
Mhm.
adidas.co.uk or .com,
Yeah.
head to the mountain bike section
Yeah.
and you'll find the Gore-Tex Trail Cross right there. You'll also find a load of other winter-ready apparel.
That's right. Vero says get some. Is that right?
Yes.
Vero says
And-
get some.
And winter ready apparel. While we're on that topic, there's a lot of good stuff on there
There is.
that I wear. Like I've been wearing
Oh, so you're
the
full
last few months.
Adidas athlete.
Yeah,
Sick.
and like when I'm out, I'm pretty much out all day, every day, like digging at the moment, and I've been keeping warm and dry.
No such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah, you can have that one for free.
Oh wow,
Wow.
we've got to get you on more often. That's so easy.
Thanks, Adidas. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Adidas.
you. Back to the episode.
Back to the episode. We're back in. And we're back in. Right, I wanted to ask you, what was your trick progression? It sounds like a silly question, but I think it's really interesting because you went from racing at the highest level and then you got into this. So you're already a really good rider. How did you find yourself here today with like backyard jumps and doing big tricks?
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't really, even though I was a good rider when I used to race, I'd never spent time riding jumps really, and I never put time and effort into learning how to ride jumps.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a great jumper. So first of all, I was like learning how to jump properly, and like hitting steeper jumps and like really learning how to do that stuff.
Like hardtail or what?
Yeah, bit of both. Like I was riding a lot of indoor skate park, which pretty quickly teaches you what not to do.
Yeah.
And just going out on like my full size trail bike and like building some jumps, riding some jumps. And then with that, once I started learning how to jump properly and felt more comfortable in the air, then I started. Some of the boys I was riding with were like taking limbs off and stuff. And one day I just thought, ooh, like be fun to try and do a suey.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Right.
was
Suey.
my
Have we got first?
Yeah, that was my
Okay.
first. And actually, like, because I was a racer and I had been my whole life, I was just riding clipped in the whole time.
Yeah.
So taking my feet off never really occurred to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe I could do a suey. So I did this. I like worked up to it, like little, you take your fingers off, start taking your hands off. And I did like a mini suey, and I was like the most hype of my life. I was like,
Yeah.
this is so sick. So then I started learning. So then I got really into taking my hands off. I was like doing more sueys, and I learned how to do like tuck nose and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But still I was clipped in. So I was stoked to do these tricks, but until I started running flat pedals, I didn't realize that it was cheating. And I hadn't actually really learned how to do those tricks properly. I wasn't clamping the
Okay.
seat when I was doing
Interesting,
sueys. I wasn't like really tucking my bike in properly when I was doing tucks.
Yeah.
Because you can really, like, your feet are clipped in, they just hold your bike up.
Yeah.
So you just can take your hands off and it's fine.
Never thought of that.
Yeah, crazy. So I actually had to like relearn them all.
Did you? So you went to flats?
Yeah, I went to flats, tried a suey, nearly died and was like, oh no, what have I done? But because I was so into tricks, I was so stoked on like the progression and the feeling of learning tricks. I was like, right, I'm done with clips. I've got to learn this properly, So then I relearned how to do those. And then because I was running flats, I was like, oh, now I can take my feet off.
Yeah.
So then I started learning things like crank flips and no footers, which was really fun. And then I combined the two where, with nothings and stuff like that, which still this day is my favorite trick. I love it. It's so fun. And then, so I'm just a big fan of removing my limbs.
Yeah.
I went through a period of like I learned backflips and I did a couple of those to dirt, but I just, not for me.
Oh, really?
Not a big
Interesting.
fan.
Yeah, 'cause I knew,
I've never been someone who can do a backflip, like into water on
like
a trampoline. I've never known what it feels like to do a backflip. So, oh my God, the commitment of like just doing that and continuing to do that in the air is insane. Like I just had such commitment issues.
So they're done. They're tick, or are they on pause?
One and done. One or two and done.
So are they paused or are they done?
I mean, I think they're done, but yeah, I never say never,
Right, okay.
I mean, like we have a pretty good setup now at the land. Like I've got an airbag there and stuff, but I'd still say one and done.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I might be convinced
Yeah, you
otherwise at
never
some
know.
point.
You never know.
Yeah. But yeah, like then, so yeah, I just really enjoy like dangly limb off tricks. I mean, no, actually, to be fair, like in the last couple of years, I learned threes on my jump bike, and I've been doing bar spins, which I actually really like. Bar spins, and they're really, to me, like that's the furthest. It's like a flip because you have to commit. Like the less you commit to it, the more sketchy it is. You know, like if you don't throw the bars the whole way, it's like or like something.
So threes, traditionally people would say threes are way harder than a flip, right?
I always hear that, but
enjoy them more.
But you're just not upside down. So for me, it's like the risk thing, you know, like I might land on my head if I don't commit to a flip, or I might like land on my ass if I don't commit to a three.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not done threes in a minute. I've been like pretty into doing just bar spins, and like I've been trying to learn. My dream trick to do like really nicely is like an Indian air no foot can.
Nice.
So I can do no foot cans, and I've been trying to do little scissory legs.
Yeah.
So I just want to keep doing that kind of stuff. I love it. I think it looks cool. It feels really cool. And yeah, that's my fave.
Is there a trick that's like on the list? Next one to try and tick.
I don't know. Like, I'd like to just do them really nicely.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to do huge Indian airs, that kind of stuff.
Big
you know,
fan of that.
I'd like
On
to see
big
a superwoman. I think a superwoman would be
Super
really
person.
Yeah.
Super person.
That's what it is now. Of
Superwoman.
course, it's 2023.
Can we do super?
It's super person.
I think a Superman would be rad.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I'd love to try those at some point.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
When I'm back on my bike uninjured.
It's quite a shouldery.
Yeah. I might be good for rehab. Who knows? But those kind of things are the dream as well. Like I would love to learn those.
Yeah.
Superman, like just all extension tricks are my dream tricks, basically.
Nice.
So yeah, that would be cool. There's been some girls who've Supermaned and definitely hyped me up to give them a go. So
Yeah. That'd be rad.
How important is it, like the trick side of it? Because I think there's obviously all these different bits of biking. Obviously racing, free ride, slope style, I guess now, especially after it's just got included into Crankworks for women. Like for you as an athlete, how important is it to keep adding these tricks to your like repertoire and career and whatever?
Yeah, I mean, like the freeride scene for us women is growing rapidly.
Yeah.
And there's so many opportunities coming up, so many more events we're being invited to, and the scene in all sort of corners is being pushed massively, and obviously like the tricks are coming with it. Like some girls are busting massive tricks. And I really love to progress my riding into to progress my trick list as well. But to me, like I've always been in like I'm more of an all-round rider.
Yeah.
And I love to smash turns and dig and ride jumps, do all of that stuff. So I want to progress like all of those things. And doing tricks and like big air and that stuff is a part of it, but it's not like everything. If that makes sense.
That's a really good way to be.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
That is.
It is.
It's
Because you're
just-
not like pigeonholed into this one.
Yeah.
For me, like I need to mix it up to be super stoked on things. Like variety is a spice of life. So I've got to keep, I love to mix it up and ride different bikes all the time and like progress different areas of my riding. And I think they all complement each other really, like in the end, you know, like, so.
I'm really with you. I'm always amazed at people that can stick on one bike and just do that. And just like focus. Like Slopestyle's a perfect example. Just to only... And I did ride jump bikes mainly for years, but I was always riding other stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a certain person to be able to just do that day in, day out and like focus on like these tricks and...
Like you said, it's like really respectable, but for me, like I just know what I'm like and I need to mix it up. There's too much exciting stuff going on and I want to get amongst all of it.
Talking of exciting stuff, you mentioned your yard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yard.
But also a cough at the same time.
The yard hypes me up. The yard is for me, that's the dream. What you've got going on.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your yard.
Yeah. So I feel like everything I've worked towards in my life and career has like led up to this moment.
Yes.
Finally, I've dialed it in. It's so sick. It's always been a dream of mine to own some land. Like that's like the biggest priority, you know, like a house can come whenever, but owning land to just do what you want on is the dream. So myself and my boyfriend Sam bought some land last year, which is up in mid Wales where we live.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent the last sort of probably from like now time last year. We've just been digging on it, building stuff, knocking it down, building more stuff. You know, like
Is it
progressing
all
on digging.
hand built, or you got
No, it's
machinery as well?
a bit of both.
Right.
Machinery and hand, like finished by hand, but
Yeah.
mostly machine built, which is for me has been sick 'cause I've been
Yeah.
in a digger a lot and I've been learning a lot and progressing a lot in a digger, which is like so
dream,
much
yeah.
fun. And super hard, like so tech to do things well in a digger.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been amazing. It's the dream. So we've been like building a lot. Last year we built a jump line from sort of the top of the hill all the way down to the bottom, which I filmed a video on for Santa Cruz, which was really sick. And now we're building a whole new bunch of jump lines really, which are bigger than before. Some are like a couple flowy lines and stuff like that. And we're going to have a jam there next year, which should be really sick.
Nice.
Awesome.
And yeah, and then hopefully in the future we'll just have more and more jams and more good times and film stuff on there. And yeah, there's going to be loads of...
I mean, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
So what have you got? Woodland? Has it got open?
There's no woodland. It's pretty much like open field. There's a stream running down the middle with some trees. So
Yeah.
it's not woodland, but there's like
Okay.
oak trees
I
running
thought
down
there
the
was.
middle.
Yeah, I thought there was woodland.
It's surrounded by
somewhere,
woodland.
Right.
It's pretty much surrounded by like plantation.
Yeah.
So at some point it will get felled and then it will probably grow again.
Yeah.
I don't know what we don't own that stuff, but yeah, it's primarily just like grassland. But it's a super nice gradient for building jumps. So it's just perfect. I'm
Perfect.
so stoked.
And you're
Yeah.
going to build a tiny home there too.
Yeah, so at the moment we're in
So
the process
sick.
of building a tiny home.
Oh.
Which will hopefully will be moved onto the land in the next couple of months, and then we'll be living on it in our tiny home off grid, which will be sick.
I can't
So
wait
good.
to see that thing. It's full off grid. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be full. We got like a borehole well thing put in, so the water's there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll run on solar power. The only thing we'll have to buy every now and then is gas for like heating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, fully off grid.
The
And
dream.
I don't know, yeah, fully off grid. Starlink, which goes hard.
Yeah. Got it here.
Especially when,
Big up
dude, nice.
Elon.
Especially when there's no, like, where I live now, it's in the middle of nowhere and there's literally no service.
Yeah.
But Starlink
Yeah.
comes through. I can
Yeah.
recommend.
So is your whole roof solar? How did you go about planning it and everything?
Yeah, so we met like an amazing couple who live up near Davi Bike Park. They're both riders and they built a tiny home for themselves.
Right.
So they've learned a lot through building their own one and through living in it. And they have just started a little business where they're building tiny homes for people. And ours is like this. They've just built one for a lady up in Scotland, and ours is the second one that they're building. So
Nice.
yeah, we're working with them to come up with like designs and just the build, and it's so sick. It's looking good. It's like, yeah, it looks like a house now, which is sick.
Yeah.
Like the frame's there, the cladding's there, and it's just like.
How tiny is it?
Uh,
If you could like explain the floor plan. 'Cause I'm
it's
just
not that
interested.
tiny. To be fair, like for some of them are tiny, those
Yeah.
tiny
Yeah.
homes, but because there's two of us living in it and we've got a couple dogs, it's pretty big for a tiny home. It's going to be like an A-frame and it's got like a cube sort of thing attached to the side of it. But size-wise, it's actually like 24 foot long and 15 foot wide. So
Okay.
it's like, yeah, if you imagine like a 20-foot container,
Yeah.
a bit longer than that.
Yeah.
And then twice as wide as that.
Yeah, so it's like
pretty much.
two full-size shipping containers bolted together.
Yeah.
A bit more than that.
And
Yeah.
double
Cool.
story.
What's that?
2-story.
Yeah, well, no, not really. It's like one story and there's like a mezzanine.
Mezzanine.
Bedroom. So
Nice.
yeah, it's going to be sick.
Oh, it sounds a dream. And
It
is
does.
it directly in the middle of your jumps?
No, it is off to the side of the jumps. I know, it's like people's dreams to have jumps all around their house. But I thought it'd be cool to have it separate because, I mean, jumps are really sick, but I don't want to only see jumps when I look out my window. I want to have like some cool views, a bit of a garden maybe,
I'm
bit
definitely
of
with
homely
I
stuff.
can see you
with
doing
you.
some
Yeah.
like veg patch.
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Growing all your own
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
100%.
Sounds so good.
So yeah, it should be really cool. And like we were just chatting about briefly before, it's like a pretty affordable option. I couldn't like
Really, yeah.
around in my area. I was like, I need to buy a house. Like, I was thinking about buying one. I was looking around. All the cheapest houses on Rightmove were like maybe just in my price range, and they were all just quite horrible. Like tiny and no
Right.
room for bikes, really damp, just not really the best
Yeah.
living situation. but with this land and the tiny house, like both put together, it's still going to be significantly cheaper than buying
Really,
little
yeah.
shithole in my area. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky to live where I live. Like Wales is pretty affordable, but it's like, yeah, there's not much info online about sort of how to go about the tiny house life, but it's definitely doable and a lot more affordable than.
You should definitely make a video.
Yeah,
A couple of like little series and stuff.
Absolutely, it'd be
Be cool.
so interesting. Yeah, just kind of documenting slightly outside of the box thinking, because it does feel a bit. Sometimes it feels like getting a dream home is a bit not even a possibility.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
it's so hard to find answers on how to do it and stuff. But like these people that we've met, Henry and Lucy, they're called. Because they've done it all themselves, they're just so knowledgeable, and they've like educated us a lot about how easy it can be and how sick it can be. So yeah. So
I'd like to see you do that. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Cool to see. Good to
we'll
watch.
get that done.
Do you do
at
much
some
on
point.
YouTube yourself?
Not really.
No.
Every now and then I'll post like a bike check or like an edit on there or something, but I'm not a YouTuber or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Have you
watching
thought
stuff on
about
YouTube.
it? I just think
like
there's so many people leaning into it. Obviously,
yeah,
like
a lot of
but-
people ask like, why don't you do YouTube? But I don't know. I've got a lot going on. I don't have much time on my hands.
And it does take a lot, and it does take a lot of energy, doesn't it? I guess. Yeah.
I think it would put, for me, I don't know, it may or may not, but I could see it sort of maybe taking the fun out of riding a little bit.
Yeah.
When you feel like you have to make another video and what are you going to do? You don't have any, just it comes across like that a little bit sometimes. Like
Definitely. I think if the problem is, it's like the more success you get, the more you would have to do it. So it's almost like you just become a victim of your own success. Like if there's no pressure on you to do it, then it's kind of just fun.
Yeah,
I think.
that's it. Yeah, true.
But then equally, I would tune into that. Tiny house, jumps all over the place.
Yeah.
Like
True.
you and Hodgie are an interesting couple as well. Like people would love to, I'm sure.
Yeah,
well,
for
you
sure.
are, aren't you? I mean,
Yeah.
you're both a couple of monster athletes
Yeah.
doing crazy tricks and stuff.
Yeah. They make great video series.
Yeah. I know what you mean. We've thought about it here and there, but it's like being a YouTuber is pretty much a full-time job, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're so busy doing the stuff we do. But I'm not writing it off. Maybe one
No,
day.
if you want to do it properly, I completely agree. I don't really do it properly ever. So
Yeah, I like the
do
way
it like,
you guys do it is sick. I think like.
Well, I just go on a trip and then document it.
that's
But like,
sick.
I've never. I think where it becomes stressful is where you're like waking up and you're like, right, it's Wednesday. I need to put a video out Friday.
But,
what shall I do?
Yeah.
And I think like that, I would hate to.
Yeah.
feel that way.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe one day.
That could easily make a tiny house not fun, couldn't it?
Yeah,
Waking up
and it's
being
so
like,
fun.
But it could also pay for it, which is the other bit where
true.
where you're like,
yeah, that's
it's true.
It all depends.
Who
It's like
knows?
subjective, isn't it? Depends on what you what you want to do and how you want to make it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
sure.
Monster, recently signed for Monster. Pretty cool
Yes.
gig.
Very cool.
Talk about that. Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, I've been very, very stoked on that. It came as a complete surprise. Because Sam's on Monster, he kind of was able to chat to Ryan, Ryan from Monster, and they could sort it out between each other because they never really do like surprise deals.
Okay.
But Sam was like sure that I would be keen.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like
That's a really rare. Thing, actually, isn't it? Because often when you see the helmets get passed over and it's a surprise, you're like, but they've had to fill out a contract.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
your
You're
one's
like, it's
actually
not
one of the
really a
only
surprise, is it? Like,
examples.
oh my god. Yeah, I know. But mine genuinely was a surprise because of what I just said. Like,
Yeah.
But even then, after they gave it to me, Ryan was like, I was so worried you were going to say I don't want it or something. Because that would be
like a proposal.
so awkward. Yeah. No. But no, obviously I was so gassed.
So what happened? How did it work out?
Like the process, how did I get the lid?
Like
basically.
where were
Yeah.
you? What was?
We were at Paul Coudeur's backyard battle,
Which looked really good.
which was insane
Yeah.
in so many ways. Have you seen the videos of those guys jumping into like the flaming tables? Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
There was some
yeah,
madness. But yeah, that was really cool. Sick event. But yeah, on we had a day's riding. It was really wet, so you like rode the spine a bit, but mainly we just cut in some rut tracks and we were just
I
riding
saw the
those.
rut tracks. Those good, yeah.
But yeah, then on the second day, right in the morning, we were pushing up to the top, and there's like the drop in at the top, like big drop where you drop off at the start, and there's just like a helmet bag sat on it, and they were all like, oh, what's like Vero, what's in there? Go open it. I was like, like I was like, maybe it's a Monster helmet, but I don't want to like get my hopes up. I don't know. And yeah, I just opened it, and there's a sick lid in there, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
cool. That's cool. I hadn't thought
sick.
about that as an actual surprise.
Yeah,
that's
it was
really
a
cool.
genuine surprise, and yeah, very, very sick.
What
Congrats.
like what does it
Thank
unlock for an athlete? Like, what does it mean being a monster athlete? What do you like?
I
Does
mean,
it just
for me-
open up.
For me,
Projects,
like
or?
yeah, for me it's like an amazing opportunity to work with really cool people who I get along with and like align with on a lot of things. The Monster team are such cool people. Like they're really, really stoked on the free ride scene. They're stoked on like putting on really sick events. They have some really cool ideas. And for me, like the opportunity to do really sick video projects and put on like this jam we're going to do a backyard battle at our land. So that will be through Monster, obviously. And so being able to make stuff like that happen is like pretty much the dream for someone like me. So yeah, it's just super excited for all the stuff that we're going to do together. It's going to be sick.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Stoked for you.
Thank you.
Does a lot go into that for you? Like, not choosing sponsors, but also, I guess a lot of opportunity will come your way naturally from being who you are, doing what you do. But do you have to be like quite selective about what brands you'll align yourself with? And do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, for like, it's all subjective. Like people have different sort of ethoses and stuff.
Yeah.
For that, but for me, it's really important to just work with brands that I align with and that want to sort of do the same sort of stuff. So, and yeah, people that I get along with at the companies, that's really important because at the end of the day, it's my job. And if I can work with people who are stoked on what I'm doing and I'm stoked on what the products that they're making and working together with them, then that is just going to make both our jobs better. So
for sure.
yeah, but I'm very lucky to have sort of built myself into a position where I can
Be a bit like, this
Yeah.
brand's cool. This will
Yeah.
align with me.
yeah. So
Yeah.
the setup I have now is fucking sick, and I'm very gassed on it.
Good on you. It's come to a lot of hard work, but
yeah, for sure.
That's
for
sick.
sure.
It's really cool to see. Really, really cool to see.
Big up.
Should we do questions? We sent
Yeah.
the bat signal out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, and we got
let's see.
loads of questions.
Oh, really?
Let's
Yeah.
see what we've
Awesome.
got.
Okay, we just did it this morning. So why don't we do questions after this little ad break?
Our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every single day.
Same. I drink it literally every day as well.
And I have since they've become a sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah, man. And some
And
say...
a bit before.
Yeah, a little bit before as well. We did a little bit of a test, didn't we?
Yeah.
Some people have said that the podcast wouldn't be what it is without us being optimized, nutritionally sound, and just genuinely feeling better.
Dude,
But
absolutely.
I think that's probably true.
I tell you the biggest thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have all of these little pots and little boxes and powders and all of these different little vitamins and minerals and stuff and supplements.
Yeah.
I would take, and it would take me ages to get them all out of their little twisty bottles and their pipettes and their little tiny things.
Like Pac-Man in the kitchen.
And every day I had to do that.
Yeah, it's too much, man.
Dude, it's too much. Now I get up, I have my AG1.
Super easy as well, isn't it? Whether you're using a scoop out of the tin or you're using a travel pack. Shall I do a quick AG1 just to show you how
Dude,
easy it is?
Show how easy it is to
I'll show
cover
you how easy
all
it is.
your nutritional bases, dude.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is when it starts getting really good for audio listeners, isn't it? Because
Yeah, really good for audio
okay,
listeners.
shall I explain what you're doing?
Yes, please.
Davey's just taken one of the travel packs, which
correct.
we'll get more onto later on. He's tipping it actually not even into his shaker. He's just doing it into a glass because he doesn't even have his shaker with him because he used it at home this morning. So he's now right.
Oh.
He's just okay. This is a remix, dude. This is a remix.
Okay.
Can you explain the remix?
Yeah, okay. Some people choose to use water. Tap water is absolutely fine. Just some of that. We got some of that. You know, you can pour a little bit of water in there like this.
Yeah. Okay. He's
There you
pouring the
go.
water. Yeah. He's
What
pouring the
I
water.
like to do though, Ollie, is
Okay.
I like to use coconut water. It's ever so tasty, and it's even better if it has a yellow sticker on it.
There you go.
So yeah, so I'm gonna put some coconut water into this.
Right. I'm going to go through some facts whilst you're mixing that up. AG1 replaces your multivitamin, probiotic, and more in one simple, drinkable habit. Science-driven formulation of vitamins, probiotics, and whole food source nutrients. AG1 is raising the standard for quality in the supplement category. It helps you build your health foundation first, and you probably can hear Davey stirring that up right now.
Yeah, it's stirred, mate. It's ready to go. And that's it. It's as simple as that, dude. You literally put your packet in or your scoop, a little bit of water or coconut water if you choose to, and then you know you're going to be nutritionally sound throughout the day. Okay? I'm just going to have a quick swig.
Have a swig.
All right.
Can you hear him? He's enjoying it. In case you're not watching, he is enjoying it. Covering his nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why Davey trusts AG1. Isn't that right?
That's correct, dude. So, if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D or vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase.
Pretty good.
Go to drinkag1.com/ride companion. That is
drinkag1.com/ride companion.
Okay, that's drinkag1.com/ride companion. And right there, you will find out how to get your free travel packs, free vitamin D, delivered to your door, nutritionally sound, ready to be optimized, ready to kick ass in the world. It's as easy as that. All the details are in the show description. So what are you waiting for? Support the podcast and get involved.
All right. Thanks, AG1.
Thanks, AG1.
We're back from the ads, and what an ad it was. It was another absolute banger. So entertaining, so engaging. I really enjoyed it. Right, we're on to question time. We got loads. We're probably going to have to pick and choose through them.
Okay. You do one.
Okay, well, first of all, we got Joel Liff. What have you and Sam been digging, building? You kind of answered this already. And when will we see it in an edit? So when's the next edit coming out?
Cool, yeah. So on the land, like I said, we're building some... It's like we're going to have a backyard battle event, which will be amazing. So that's like our sort of time frame of getting it done.
Is it? That's the next
that's
thing,
not just what it's for. Like, it's just for
to
have for for everything to like progress on, to have more jams on, to shoot edits on.
Yeah.
And I did an edit on the land last year, or this year actually. But we're going to build this line, and then Sam wants to do an edit on the stuff that we've built. So
cool.
I think you'll probably see an edit of that around like April, May sort of time.
There you go. We've got a date.
A rough,
That's that
We'll
question
see how we get on.
answered.
Let's see how we get on.
Answer.
See what the weather's like in Wales.
Yeah, that's it.
Could be tough.
Absolutely.
We got Terry Two Wheels.
Yeah, that's a good question.
If you could only ride one bike from now on, which one would it be?
We actually talk about this a lot, and it would 100% be my Nomad.
Would it?
Yeah, it's so good. Like,
what travel's that?
It's a big travel trail bike.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can mash about and make it more jumpy or make it more trail bikey. Yeah. So if I'm allowed to like make slight mods to it, it'll be my Nomad.
Nice.
I mean, it's just amazing. And it feels like if I took it to Morzine and rode like all the steep stuff on it.
Yeah.
And it just felt like my downhill bike. It's so good. And then I'll take it to the jumps and send it, and it's just the best.
I mean, we live in it is a good time to be biking, isn't it? Like it used to be. Think of how crap some bikes used to be. Like by comparison now.
Yeah.
Like how pigeonholed everything was.
Yeah.
Like you had a downhill bike.
Yeah.
And then
cross-country
you had
bike.
A cross-country bike. And it was just like...
It's true.
You had to just... It was all so kind of... I don't know, they're so amazing. Like even on your bike, you could still pedal to the top. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
It is.
And then drop in and it's like... You're like...
Yeah.
It feels better than the bike I used to race World Cups.
Yeah.
So
Unreal.
Do you do much e-biking?
Yes. I love it.
So good, isn't it?
It's the best. Honestly, just the best. But yeah, like around where I live, the hills are so steep.
Yeah.
And like now I ride my e-bike all the time, and I used to ride up those hills on my acoustic bike, and I just think, how the fuck did I get up these hills before? Like now, I mean, on my e-bike I'm cruising, but I could never imagine myself doing it.
I'm with you. I'm exactly the same. I'm exactly the same.
E-bikes are just insane.
You know where I live, like Sheffield, everything's pretty steep.
Yeah,
like
proper.
I just can't even imagine it anymore.
And you can just get
Sounds
more
so
laps
lazy.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Is everything in the yard e-bike friendly?
For sure. Like, actually, everything in the yard, I think you could ride on any bike.
I think that's so interesting. That's such a new thing, that is. Isn't it?
For
like,
sure.
if you think jumps basically work for dirt jump bikes and BMXs.
Yeah.
Like, it used to just be, like, you would never ride a jump on a cross-country bike, even really a downhill bike. You didn't really ever see it, did you?
Yeah,
Obviously, in different parts of the world you would, but... Yeah, I think that's interesting as well. Like the fact that stuff can ride on every bike. I wouldn't, even as an experienced jump builder when I was younger, I would have been like, no, it won't work. And now
that's
it's
true.
like,
yeah, that's true.
your line's actually really good for that, isn't it?
Where?
The vision.
Oh yeah,
line
exactly.
is like,
People rode it on those like BMXs with suspension.
Oh.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
actually even when we filmed Vision movie, the sesh that we had there, people were on jump bikes, people were on trail bikes, downhill bikes, everything. Like, yeah, that's
cool.
actually another very good point about Vision Line. And it's still there now, which is really cool. Like when you drive past sort of through that valley, you can see part of it, and it still looks good. So I've got my fingers crossed that we'll be back up and running at some point.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna add the second bike.
Second bike.
So now
Yeah.
you're allowed two
Two-bike
bikes.
garage.
It wasn't the
Oh my
question that you were
gosh.
sent, but I think I'm
Okay.
interested.
So you got the Nomad in there. That's parked up.
The Nomad's
Right.
part.
Now you got to wheel one other in there.
Yeah. You've just got an extension on the garage, literally like a bike width
Okay.
extension.
It's gone from tiny house to medium house.
Is it
I
gonna?
mean-
Is it Ebe? Is it downhill bike? Is it jump bike? That's
Oh.
basically your options. I mean, maybe we've got a gravel bike in there. I don't know.
Might be
Mate.
road bike.
I'm stressing. This is too hard of a question. No, it won't be a road bike. Trust.
We do
But,
this question a lot. I think it's good.
I'm like,
Yeah.
how have I never had this conversation? Like, we
Yeah.
always say like, oh, what would the one bike be that you ride? But no one's ever said what was.
2-bike garage
Yeah,
is
we
the
do.
one.
Yeah.
Mate, if I can I change the first bike
Well,
if I get two
Well,
bikes?
I tell you what we could do. We could say 3 because it does make it easier. Doesn't it?
3-bike garage has always
3-bike
been
garage.
the thing.
2 bikes actually really hard. I haven't even ever thought of a 2-bike garage.
Podium picks, top 3 bikes.
2. Okay, 3 bikes is easy. 2's so hard. I think.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
3, I'm gonna say 3 would be like jump bike,
Yeah.
e-bike, and downhill bike. Like
Oh, okay. So you've now
The
changed.
trail
Yeah.
bike's gone.
The one
Yeah.
bike, the trail bike's
Because
out of there.
the trail bike is just so versatile. Like, but because I get 3 bikes now,
Yeah.
I don't need it anymore. Really, I want
There
it, but
you
I don't have
go.
to have it.
Nice.
See,
Yeah.
that is a brilliant answer.
Yeah.
I hadn't expected that.
But I mean, I know downhill bikes aren't essential, but to me, like, that's always been the number one bike in my fleet. and
Yeah.
what I
yeah.
like to do the most stuff on. So I'll bring it back for my 3 bikes.
So the e-bike is sort of. Would you say the e-bike has replaced the long travel trail bike?
Like,
Or is
in
it a
general,
combination?
or for this like 3
Yeah,
bike
for this
thing?
exercise, yeah. that I'm thinking about way too much.
Yeah, I think like what do you say? Has the e-bike replaced?
Like, how come it's the trail bike's been knocked off? Is it the e-bike's replaced it?
because it's been knocked off because like if I wanted to go on a trail ride, the e-bike
There you go,
would
yeah.
be my number
Yeah,
one
yeah, yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to ride jumps now, I have the downhill bike.
Yeah.
If I want to ride big jumps, if I want to ride like dirt jumps, I have the jump bike. So
Yeah.
Could be a good 3-bike garage, that.
It's solid.
Could be the one.
It's
Yeah.
solid. Thanks, Tarry Two Wheels, for that question.
Thank
It's
you.
sent us on a brilliant.
Yeah, it was
really
good.
got me
Tangent,
thinking
yeah.
there.
Great question.
Right. So 2-1 Racing, a regular question giver, has asked, you've made Vision Line, where would you want to build a new feature and why? I mean, obviously you've got your yard, but outside of your yard, what sort of locations are your favourite in the world in all your travels?
Like,
Where would you want to
where
build
would be my
a line?
dream to be?
Yeah.
I would love to go. Like, hopefully one day this will be on the cards. I would love to go to the Himalayas and build something there.
Yeah.
I went there in I think 2019 with TGR. I did a segment for The Accomplice with Hannah Bergman, which was really cool. We went out to India, like in the Himalayas, and we had an amazing couple weeks
Wow.
cruising around. It's insane.
Yeah.
Probably, like, for sure my favorite place I've ever been. So I'd love to go back there because the locals are amazing, and like they've got a little spot now where they've been building some jumps and stuff. So I'd love
Have
to go
they?
out.
Yeah.
It's really sick. I actually like when I left them my downhill bike
Yeah.
because they just had these like little trail bikes. So I left my downhill bike with them, and ever since then I still like go on Instagram and they're shredding my
That's
downhill
so
bike.
cool. That
So
is.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
I'd love
really
to go.
cool.
Yeah, stoked. I'd love to go back there and get amongst a dig sesh with them.
Yeah.
And it's just so sick. Like the scenes are amazing. Like the backdrops for every single thing you build are just ridiculous.
They're
Yeah.
So
proper
it would-
mountains, aren't they?
Proper.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my dream spot.
That responsibility is really cool you have as well, like of inspiring people not just women and girls in freeride, but like everyone. It's pretty sick. Like, well, how do you not deal
Did you say
with it?
responsibility?
Yeah, it is a bit of responsibility, right?
Yeah,
It is, isn't
I mean,
it?
yeah, like it's a
Like,
responsibility.
you're inspiring a
and
generate,
and it's
like-
like kind of a blessing to be in a position where like you can do that. It's like such a rewarding
Yeah.
thing to be able to do.
Yeah, it must be
Super
nice.
sick. Yeah.
Really cool. I bet your
Yeah.
Instagram feed's just like people out riding that maybe have got into it through finding you through various things and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Big up.
It's really nice.
Stoked.
Yeah. After you. Sorry.
Charles J95 wants to know what you listen to in the digger.
Great.
It's a good question. Yeah, it is a good question, isn't it?
Watching and
Garage
listening.
music.
Is it pure garage?
Pure.
Is it
speed
really?
garage.
Yeah.
No way.
It's like, mate, oh, I love it. But
Mate.
I do know, like, lately I've been, like, being, like, sensible and I've put some, like, educational podcasts on and stuff. But
Nice.
in between, I'll, like, put some bangers on.
Yeah.
Just keep
Love
just
it.
cracking monies, just building shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. It's my fave genre. I do like some chill, like, I love to listen to some, like, dub and stuff like that as well. But I love most genres of music.
Yeah.
But that's my fave.
Nice.
What would be your digger music?
On it, I mean,
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Oh,
Be weird digging to Meatloaf.
See, I just only listen to like. It's great, yeah. I only like really chill country these days, so I'd just be like,
Really?
yeah, I'd just be chilling with that. I'd maybe have a little whiskey and a little cup holder in my digger, a little one,
Sounds so nice.
maybe a cigar,
Dude, that sounds
Nice.
and just
really
carving
nice. Yeah.
stuff out with them.
Nice.
You know, what about you? What would
Yeah.
you go with?
I don't know if it.
I think the
I'm
digger
quite-
makes it like a different vibe to being in the truck, like driving. I mean, like
I'm
just
quite
driving.
podcasty with diggers because I worry about hitting people. But you know, when you're looking around, also.
Okay.
like, have you dug at night
Yeah.
in a digger?
Mm.
That's insane. How much I can be digging here and piling where you are,
Yeah.
and the light is only looking
Only
there.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you come where I'm piling, I
Swinging.
swing round.
Yeah.
It's so I listen to podcasts because I'm always worried about, like, I guess a lot of the time I'm digging where there's other people.
There's
as
got,
well.
yeah, I was going to say, there must be a lot of
Mm.
people around when you're digging.
Yeah. So I have
Different-
podcasts
yeah.
on. Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool. It is a good, it's a
History
good chance.
podcast.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
chance to be like, okay, cool. Like, I have the time to learn some new shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Sick.
Have you mastered a tilt rotor?
Well, I don't know what, like, define mastered. I mean, I use it.
do you use it
Yeah,
though? Yeah.
yeah. Sam has one, and the company that we hire, like the plant hire
Yeah.
company, are super sound. So they've like done these attachments so that we can put it on all the machines that we hire.
Nice.
And it's super sick. It's just so much better, isn't it?
I've
Like,
never mastered it. I have no experience, but
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know if I've mastered it, but I do use it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like a thumb. I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of a thumb.
Nice.
Just moving logs and
Nice.
stuff. Yeah.
I love moving logs.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
really
it's
satisfying,
so
isn't it?
satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. It's insane. Actually, so good. Yeah.
I got a question. What does the state of like women's freeride look like to you for the next 5 years?
Great question.
Thank you.
The state. Of
Yeah,
it.
like what's it look like? I mean, obviously we've had various things being added.
Yeah.
Formation obviously's come.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not around. I don't know. It's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what happened with formation? Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, it's a bit of a sad story, really, with formation because it's such an amazing event. It's so important. It's
Yeah.
like really helped to grow the women's freeride scene.
Yeah.
And there's just a bit of a mash-up with the people organising Red Bull Rampage and promises being made, being broken, which unfortunately resulted in no women's category at Rampage and no formation this year, which was pretty shitty. But
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot kick off about it.
Okay.
So I would
Yeah, there's
hope,
definitely a movement, right?
yeah.
Of like,
So I would very much hope that will spur them to get their shit together.
What would be your ideal? What would you like to happen with it? Would
yeah,
you
like
put-
Rampage, for example.
Yeah.
What would like?
I
Yeah,
would
what's the
love
ideal
with Rampage. I
situation?
mean, I would just love to see a women's category because it's like pretty much the only freeride event left that doesn't have a women's category now, and it's just about time, you know. Like, obviously, yeah, I think the platform is ready to be there,
Yeah.
and like Rampage is so amazing, and what those guys do is so sick, and there's so many women who are like stoked on that kind of riding and that would love to see it start.
Yeah.
And it's obviously it will take some time because it will be completely new to us or whoever gets amongst that, to like find their feet and like build it up to a sick level. But it's definitely like formation as those events have progressed so much.
I was gonna say it's been brilliant, hasn't it? Like
I was at the first formation. At the second one, unfortunately, because of COVID, I couldn't travel there, so I missed it. But I was at the third one, which was last year, and so I saw the progression between year 1 and year 3, and it was ridiculous. And like, so after that, we had a meeting, and it sounded like there was going to be a women's rampage category this year. But yeah, unfortunately, they changed their mind. So I would very much like to see that happen. And I think like it would elevate, like having a women's category at Rampage would elevate the entire sport, because from an outside's perspective, like, I mean, it's women watch sports as well as men. And to see, say you don't know anything about mountain biking, but you're watching Rampage, and you can see like these men and women doing crazy things, it elevates the entire sport. Like, wow, look at what these men and women are doing. Not just like, look what these dudes are doing, which is amazing, of course, but to see everyone in the sport doing that is like going to make it look so much sicker.
It's part of mountain biking that reaches like a broader audience, isn't it? Like there's so many amazing events, but Rampage for some reason just has this extra something.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really know what it is, whether it's just everyone's scared of heights.
Maybe there's literally a wow factor.
There's so many factors that make it just so gnarly and so unique. But yeah, like I hope it happens. I think it'll be sick. And if not, like women will still go out there and do new things, which will be cool anyway. But yeah, I think they should stop gatekeeping it, basically. But yeah, formation is the best. It's such a cool event. It's so supportive, and like I said, obviously like riding in that zone, in that sort of, it's just so new to a lot of women, most women. So having formation is like the perfect way to create progression and build it up to be ready to compete at Rampage. So
Great answer.
I think it's ready.
Fantastic answer. I've got to be honest as well, I nicked some rocks from a formation feature.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I did this year.
What
I
a
know,
lad.
and I thought, they're going to find out. The girls are going to find out. They're going to come for me. They're gonna get beaten up.
I mean, it's like because formation, it's such a cool event, but because it's only, I think we get like 3 dig days, so there's not enough time to build a whole line. So we are rebuilding like old Rampage lines. So it'll be sick to be given the opportunity to do more digging, because for me anyway, I love digging so much. It's like I love it just as much as riding, so it's the perfect event where I get to do both.
I didn't actually know that about formation. I thought it was the same.
No, it's not. So that's why we will go to an old Rampage site and like rebuild stuff, build some new stuff, but there's not enough time to like build top to bottom lines.
Because I mean, it takes so much longer than I always think that you watch the line and you sort of think, they've been in 10 days. Like I watched our line that we've built. I'm like, motherfucker, we've been here for 10 days.
What have they been doing?
All we did,
Really?
A couple of landings and
It looks like from an outsider's perspective, it looks like it goes up really quick. Like you see these like huge landers being slapped in, you're like, oh my God.
Well, I mean, work mega hard, but like I always sort of look afterwards and think, could have done more, you know?
Nah, mate.
No way.
So sick. It was so sick to watch. This year was really cool. Like,
it was good.
It was a
Wasn't
good
it?
event this year, that's for sure.
Good year.
Obviously, we need to look towards wrapping up. Lovely way to end, I think, would be some advice for the young Veros out there, the young girls who look up to you. Like, what would your advice be for them to find their way in the sport, to find a discipline that sort of like suits them? And like, what's the normal? I'm going to be honest, like, what's the normal like DM reply to people that's like, oh, I really love you, and like,
I mean,
what do you say to people?
My advice would be to just to ride all the bikes and like go out and try all kinds of different stuff, like ride with different crews, ride indoor, ride outdoor stuff, ride jumps, ride turns, ride tech, ride everything, and just see what you enjoy. And you don't have to focus on anything. You don't have to go down a certain route, because the more types of riding you do, the better you're going to be at everything, you know. Like I said before, like it all complements each other, and it keeps things exciting, and it keeps like progression opportunities in all corners of the sport. So just get out there and get amongst it, and don't be too intimidated, because it can be really intimidating, especially when, you know, rock up at a skate park and there's fucking 30 fully grown men like sending it, and you're like waiting for a turn to drop in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but everyone starts somewhere. Like, even those dudes started somewhere when they were whatever age.
Yeah.
So everyone knows what it feels like, and just get amongst
can
it.
be pretty intimidating.
Yeah, for sure. So just like enjoy it, get amongst it. Don't be worried about anything. Just enjoy it, and then that's where, like, for me anyway, through enjoyment, that's where everything sort of fell together, and that's why I am where I am now. So yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah, brilliant advice.
Beautifully
Many thanks
put.
for coming on.
Big up for having me.
Hell yeah. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.
Like and subscribe. Mate, what an episode.
That was the best one.
Could be. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to see more, just click here, is it?
Yeah, it's up there. Should be up there.
About there.
Yeah, about
and
there.
then there's other ones here.
Other ones there that you might like. You can hit us up social media at @odo_23.
Definitely. Do you know what I also thought? We like to share a lot of codes and sort of offers and exciting things with the podcast companionship.
Yeah.
So head to, where do they head?
The ridecompanion.co.uk. You can find all our sponsors, all our offers. Christmas is coming, as you can see by the decorations and the set design.
Yeah.
Lock in, hook the boys up.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
Look after our sponsors who help look after us and make all this beautiful content
We're all
possible.
looking after each other, and that's Christmassy, and that's the Ride Companion.